Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are enjoying your day. So today we've got to talk about Raz-B and Chris Stokes and B2K. If you guys don't know, some of you guys probably weren't even born yet, but back in the late 90s and the early 2000s, there was a boy band by the name of B2K, and their producer is Chris Stokes. You guys might know who Raz-B is. Today he's in reality TV. I think he's on Zeus Network right now. But back in the day, back in 2007, Chris Stokes came out with some accusations. I'm sorry, Raz B came out with some accusations against Chris Stokes. Chris Stokes is his cousin, and he said that Chris Stokes had SA'd him, right? And and he's been trying to fight to get his story out for years, right? So anyway, I got some receipts, y'all, right? So in 2007, Raz B first accused Stokes of SAing him, and his brother Ricardo um, Thornton. The young men were signed to their cousin's music label, TUG. At the time in the video, Raz B claimed his fellow label mate Marques Houston had also SA'd him, right? And alleged that Houston was being aided by Stokes as well, right? So Marques Houston allegedly SA'd Raz B, according to Raz B, but Marques Houston was also SA'd by Chris Stokes, right? And so it says the accusations have carried over for many years, with Stokes and Houston actively denying Raz B's claims, right? So, um, like I said, in the early 2000s, the group, B2K, and it also had been said that allegedly Chris Stokes not only abused Raz-B and his brother, but the other group members and other artists signed to their label as well, right? And so Chris Stokes, the producer slash cousin, he denied all allegations, right? And to this day, he's denying allegations. He says that all the allegations they made are false. I'm not, same gender loving, and I'm married. And I have 4 kids. Y'all pay attention to this. I've been with my wife for 16 years, and I'm not a CM, right? So those are all false allegations. I'm going to sue them. He never sued them. And I owe that to my wife and kids, period. It's ridiculous. So a suit never came out about this back in the day, but there is some speculation that there are people behind the scenes trying to cover this up and have been trying to cover this up for years, right? Since the first allegations was made, right? So if you remember, so right here he's saying he's talking about his wife, right? So yesterday, Chris Stokes' wife, her name is Monet Martin, she came out and she put this on her Instagram post, which has now been deleted. Right now, I also want to say that for years and years and years, Chris Stokes allegedly has been trying to keep this whole situation covered up. He has in the past, he has actually issued cease and desist letters to some bloggers. And Hollywood Unlocked, Jason Lee is one of the ones that came out and spoke about him receiving a cease and desist letter from Chris Stokes, right? His company, right? So like I said yesterday, the wife comes out. I'm assuming they're splitting up now. She says, I married him in 2004. She's talking about Chris Stokes. I married him in 2004. Just days before I gave birth to my fourth child, he was faced with accusations of SA that I know to be true. So she's saying these allegations that RazB has been saying for years are true, right? But parties are unwilling to come forward and confirm them. I can confirm that he committed these acts, and it begins with acknowledging what I didn't want to accept. I married a perpetrator of such crimes. She says now it's time for me to liberate my spirit and open up about it, right? She says for the past 2.5 years, I've dedicated time to self-improvement, working on my mental, physical, and emotional well-being, often in solitude. At this point, my heart's desire is for every victim, including myself, to heal and live long, healthy, productive life. Excuse me, healthy, productive lives. I seek justice. Hashtag Chris Stokes. Hashtag Marquise Houston's. Hashtag accusations, truth, reality. And this is Chris Stokes' wife, like I said. So she came out with this statement on her Instagram post yesterday, and that post has since been deleted, right? And like I said, it's been said that allegedly Chris Stokes has been strong arming these people in order to keep people quiet. Not only has he been strong arming people and threatening people's lives, allegedly trying to keep people quiet, Raz B also came out and talked about, the fact that he felt afraid for his life, right? And so back in the day, there was supposed to be a, like the Surviving R. Kelly documentary. Well, B2K was supposed to come out with a documentary, kind of like a Surviving Chris Stokes documentary or whatever. And all of a sudden that went away, right? That went away. Nothing else was said about it. And Raz B was made to sound crazy. People were calling him crazy and on drugs and all this and all that. Well, a few years ago, RazB, he pinned a message on Instagram, and he was saying allegedly RazB expect he feels unsafe, right? The musician states he was in a Hilton hotel in Kansas City fighting for his life. He said that he did not want to undergo the procedure here and gave the location of the hospital because he was afraid to be in that hospital because something had happened to him previously prior to that. And what happened to him prior to that was, like I said, for years and years and years, right? He's been saying that Chris Stokes hurt him, right? So all of a sudden he comes out and say that he was not my enemy. I focused all my pain, frustration, anger, built from my past and took it out on my cousin, and I never understood why. Now, while he pinned his post, his wrist was they noticed that his wrist was broken, right? And so after he pinned this recantation, if you will, he recanted all the things that he said, all the accusations that he made against his cousin Chris Stokes. So, but after that, a lot of his fans, they were started to worry about him, and they felt like he was forced to recant um these accusations, right? And a little while after that, he showed up at the hospital. But at the hospital, he busted out a window, y'all, and climbed on a roof trying to get out of the hospital because he felt like somebody was trying to hurt him, right? And fans also, felt like Chris Stokes was the ones but trying behind trying to hurt Raz B, trying to silence him, right? And so this was around 2017 when all of that happened, right? So also around the time early on when he first started talking about it, there was this fella that was signed to Chris Stokes' company, and his name was Quindon Tarver. Quindon Tarver was he had been in music, like since he was a little boy, right? And Quindon Tarver actually left the music industry because of some things that happened to him, right? And so um Raz B also goes, this is the wife. I'm sorry about that, y'all. This is Chris Stokes and his wife. Down there is Marques Houston, and he's really afraid. This is Chris Stokes as well. He looks very fearful, for his life and everything. And so, like I said, fast forward, he goes on to do a interview with Chris Stokes. I'm trying to find hold on a minute. So around there, a decade after the allegations, came out about RazB. He talked to Quindon Tarver. Quindon Tarver, he is now deceased, and he was like I said, he was also signed to the label. And Chris, he came out to tell his story, right? And he said that Tarver said that his early career had been derailed after he was molested in the music industry. He said, I was hurting. He told ABC News, I had been molested. I had been R'd. I had lost my career, which is what I had dreamed of doing all my life. He said, I had to come back home because someone did something to me. I began drinking and dabbling in drugs, and I lost it. He said, man, I spiraled completely. So he told this to ABC News, right? Because people were wondering what happened to Quindon Tarver. Well, a little while after he did this ABC interview, Oh, and he also said in a video in the interview that he was going to write a book. He was going to be writing a book about, you know, all the bad things that had happened to him, the SAs and all of this stuff, right? So in 2017, um, he had a car accident, right? And so his uncle came out and said, he had an accident, said Willie Carver, which is his uncle. He said, all we know is he had a wreck, crashed into a wall somewhere somewhere on George Bush Turnpike. That's all the information I have, right? Well, you know, this mysterious car accident happened. There was not a lot of traffic on the turnpike. You know, and they don't know why, you know, he crashed, right? But you know, interestingly enough, the accident happened after he announced that he would be writing a book, right? And so all that was strange. So he never got to come out and write a book about his story. All he did was get to talk about it a couple of times. But you know, Raz-B also did a phone interview with Quindon Tarver. And they talked about, you know, Chris Stokes and Marques Houston, and you know, all the things that had happened to them both. This is Q Tarver as a little boy, and he has never been forgotten. You know, and so his to this day, this car accident is a mystery, right? And he was really on the rise when he was a little boy, you know, and so like I said, he went on to sign with the record label. So after that, fast forward to that, like I said, for years and years and years, Raz-B tried to, you know, get people, put it out there that, hey, this guy, you know, he did all these things to me and my brother, as well as other members, right? And so not only did Chris Stokes do this to the members of B2K and people like Quindon Tarver. It also, RazB also alleges that Chris Stokes and Marques Houston made the boys do SA to one another. It's like a Diddy FO situation, a Diddy freakout situation, right? So he's been doing this for decades. And so he said, like I said in one of his interviews, he said that they also had to do it with one another, which you know, I don't know if that explains why Marques Houston went on to allegedly do it himself, but they're saying they made him do it with each other, and also said that they like to film the boys doing it with each other, and also there was supposed to be a reunion tour, a B2K reunion tour back in 2017. Raz-B left the tour because he said he felt unsafe, right? And so it was just a lot of stuff going on back then, right? Since also at the time of this post, he was dealing with I told y'all about the broken wrist and the hospital and all this and all that. I just want to show that to y'all, right? And so like I said, because the wife came in and said what she said yesterday on Instagram. The post is now gone. This story has come up again, and people are now starting to talk about it again. Raz B did not rejoin the group for the B2K reunion tour because he was afraid that Chris Stokes was going to be there, and he felt like his life was in harm. So we're going to have to see, you know, what comes of the wife, and I hope she's not in hiding. I hope she's okay. And also, people are alleging that Chris Stokes not only harmed his family members, he also SA'd his children. Right now, this is all reminiscent to me of what happened to Andrea Kelly with her kids, because it came out later. Her kids came out and said that R. Kelly SA'd them to the point that one of R. Kelly's kids identifies as a stud. You know what I mean? And so this is all reminiscent of this. And some people are asking, well, why did it take so long for his wife, Monet Martin, to come out and talk about it? I don't know why. Perhaps she was in fear. Who knows what happened in the marriage? Why is the post gone now on Instagram? You know, we don't know why. Like I said, Chris Stokes and Marques and that whole crew has been trying to cover this up for years. So we're gonna have to see if anything comes out of this. But you know, uh, Raz-B had been trying to tell people for years, you know, that this man had been doing this to those boys, and it's just a whole sad situation. Raz B has gone through a lot, and like I said, I believe he's on. They said he's on the Zeus network now, and so yeah, we're gonna have to see what happens. But anyway, that's all I got. If I find out something more about this, I will let you guys know. Please like, share, and subscribe. When you subscribe, please hit that notifications bell so that you will be notified when I post another video. It is just so much, y'all. What do y'all think about this story? I personally think it is so sad. I think that it's sad that nobody really wants to believe a lot of these male victims. They are quicker to believe a female victim. A lot of men undergo victim shaming, which they said also was done to Raz B. And I think that's a shame. And so, but anyway, let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section. I'm gonna talk to you guys later. Bye bye. Peace.